Good morning, guys. It's me, Teresa. So, I wanted to share with you what the Lord has been sharing with me here recently. Um, this morning, He told me that He showed me that breakthrough is not what we think that it is sometimes. He was sharing with me that breakthrough is based off of the subject of what's being broken through. So, for instance, if you're waiting on finances, if you believe that the Lord is going to give you an abundance of finances, if you have been waiting on Him and believing Him for it and been praying about it and all of those things and standing on His word, where it says that He will do exceedingly abundantly above all that you ask or think. There's several scriptures about breakthrough and about when you sow abundantly, you'll reap abundantly. All of those things, he was saying that breakthrough is based off of what you are believing him for. So if you're believing him for finances, then there will come a point when the finances will overflow. It's almost like a dam being broken, a water dam where the water is being held up and then when it breaks, it just gushes out. Well, it's the same thing if you're praying for healing. The way that he showed it to me is that so when you go and you might have an abscess, the thing that they have to do is they have to give you an antibiotic. That thing has to come to a head, and it sounds nasty to even think about it. And I don't know why I'm using this example because I see it. It has to come to a head before it opens up and all of the poison comes out. And then once that happens, then healing can take place. It's the same thing when you pray for your heart to be healed, or when you pray for him to make you better emotionally, or when you pray for him to make you a leader, or whatever it is that you're praying for and asking God to do for you. A process has to be done. And I know that you've heard when people say things get worse before they get better. Well, that's the truth. So think about what you have prayed about, what you're asking God for, what you're believing him for, and then recognize that what you are praying for has to go through a process before it can come to fruition, before breakthrough can happen. So things truly may look crazy right now. You may be feeling like, am I doing something wrong? This is not what it's supposed to look like. Why is it happening like this? Why don't I see breakthrough? Well, sometimes things can be so impacted. Your heart could have experienced such pain and hurt that it doesn't all come up all at once. It has to be dug out. And the process of healing is very, very messy. When you start seeing stuff come out, when you start seeing that you have an attitude, or when you start feeling certain feelings that you thought you had dealt with already, don't quit. Keep going. If you stop in the middle, that stuff is just going to get stuff is going to get packed on top of that again, and then you'll have to start redigging. So go through your process. Don't quit in the middle. Stay strong. God knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. I know that it's uncomfortable. I'm experiencing the uncomfortableness myself, but it serves a purpose. It's for a purpose. There's a reason behind all of this. There's a reason. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Go through it. When you get done with this process, it's going to be so much better for you. God truly he will not bless you with abundance on top of a mess. Allow him to cleanse your heart. When you say the prayers, create in me a clean heart and renew a steadfast spirit within me, that requires some work behind the scenes. The other morning, I was experiencing some things, and I've been experiencing some things just for a while now, if to be quite honest with you. But I just noticed that certain areas have come back up, and I'm like, Lord, what is this? This hurts. This is uncomfortable. And I went in to my dining room and I looked at my clock, and it said 8:28. And God deals with me in numbers. And what 8:28 represents is Romans 8:28, where it says, all things are working together for the good of those who love God and who are the called according to his purpose. We have to wait on him. We have to believe that he is God and that he knows what's best for us. There are times where we have to get a different perspective, his perspective on things. Ask him for his Ask him for his perspective on what's going on in your life right now. If it doesn't seem fair, if it doesn't seem right, if it's not comfortable, if it's not pretty. You know what I'm saying? Ask him, say, Lord, what is this part for? He'll show you if you be still and pay attention and listen for him to give you clarity. He'll give you clarity. A lot of times we ask for clarity and then we go on beat bopping and doing what we do, and we're not sitting still for him to talk to us. We have to give him space. When we ask him a question, we have to give him space to respond. I'm able to say this so strongly because I'm talking to myself too. I'm not getting on here sharing anything with you guys that I have not experienced myself. In fact, I know that's what God created me for. I know what I've been called to do. That's another thing. Don't allow people to tell you what you're supposed to do. You have to know what God called you to do. Your assignment might not look like somebody else's assignment. You know what I mean? So just be sure in who you are. Know what God has called you to do. And don't give up in the middle of your healing. You don't want to have to go back and redig stuff that you had already start digging up. Yes, it's painful, but be strong. You got this. When you pray for something, be ready to go through every part of the process. If you really want to be healed, it gets messy first. And it's very uncomfortable, but you can do this. If you truly want to be healed, hold on. Sometimes I'll just have days where I'll just be like, okay, give it to me. Give it to me, because it's something I'm trying to get to. I want to be whole, fully whole, and I want to be able to help people to be whole as well. It takes work. If you want to be healed, you got to be ready to work. You got to be ready to go through the hard parts. You can't just have the good parts without the hard parts. It's the hard parts that help us to get to the good parts. So that's who I am. And I wanted to say something else because I just feel like I need to say it. The reason why, you guys, when I pop on, I might not be put together. My hair might be all over my head. I might not be fully dressed yet. It's because the Lord deals with me. Number one, he deals with me in the morning when I'm just waking up. That's when my quiet time is with him. And usually he switches it up from time to time, but I like to take the first part of my day and spend it with him before I do anything else, just so my day, my thoughts about him and what he's saying to me are not tainted with things that's going on throughout the day. Now, he speaks to me all day long, but I'm really able to be still and hear him clear in the morning. That's for me. For some people, it's at night or whenever he chooses, because he switches it up from time to time. So anyway, be still. Listen to what he has to say. What I was saying, I lost my train of thought. What I was saying is sometimes I'll get on here and I might look crazy. Well, it took me years to even get to the point where I wouldn't be put together and allow people to see me. I had such low self-esteem that I would stop myself before I could even begin to do anything because of my thoughts of who will want to listen to me, and I'm not good enough, and I need to look like this. I need to look like her. Well, that's why you get me like this, because I don't care anymore. The point that I needed to get to was that people need to be healed. People need someone who has experienced what they are experiencing to help them to get to wholeness. So God had to first get rid of that part of me, that low self-esteem part, that part that cared what people thought. So that's why I get on, and I might not be all made up. I'm not a full makeup person anyway. But the reason why I get on when I get on is because when he tells me, tell the people, I'm going to tell the people, and I might look crazy telling y'all. So that's why that is. So don't let that distract you from getting this word. God loves us. He wants us whole. He's building an army right now, a remnant in these last and evil days. We don't have time to be tangled up with the stuff that's going on in this world. We don't have time to be worried about what people thinks of us. He wants us whole and healed so that we can go forth and fight for his glory.